the whole universe in which they were began to tremble in an incredible way. However, at the time, a power of the same gigantic form would be present. Although Turtles was not able to feel the power of Goku, he had noticed how an incredible pressure spread throughout the battlefield. So instantly a blue aura would rise everywhere, while Goku would begin to access the Super Saiyan Blue. Goku, I am surprised by the power you possess, and although you do not have the divine energy, your power is even able to compare with the power of the gods. But my power goes much further than that, so get ready. Wow, I cannot believe it. With what you have told me, I can realize that you do not belong to this timeline, but you will reveal to me all the secrets to be able to access that state of God that you say. Both observed fixedly, so instantly they began to exchange thousands of blows all over the place. Their battle would extend throughout the universe. Although Goku had used the power of a god, his body was still a little heavy while his enemy was completely relaxed. Since it was the environment in which he had trained most of his life, Goku, with his incredible speed, was able to hold him by the head, making him crash into a planet, being able to cause him great damage because the power he had used was overwhelming. However, from the top of Whole Place, a giant of dark energy was able to provide him with an incredible blow, which in the same way had sent him to the end of the planet. How is he able to continue hurting me if I have the energy of a god? Although I do not like to accept it, he, at this moment, is a mere mortal, unlike me. I can see that with you I will have to use all my power, since the grip you have used against me has been effective. You have caused me great damage. What? He still hides much more power? This will not be easy at all. The Dark Saiyan this time would begin to access the Super Saiyan, with which his power would increase in an enormous way, but at the moment a great explosion would be created, so he would take advantage of it to be able to provide him with an incredible blow to Goku's face, which at the time was able to recover, and again they began to exchange thousands of blows. But this time both warriors were very equal, which would leave Goku very surprised, because he possessed the energy of a god. At the moment, both warriors took a little distance, while Turtles would start laughing like a maniac. I can see that you are a very powerful warrior, so with you I will be able to use all my power, since no warrior had forced me to use this power. Goku's look would change to one of total confusion, while a little fear would begin to run through his entire body, which he had not experienced in so long. Turtle's power would begin to rise in an incredible way, while his hair would return to its black color again, but this time it would begin to grow in a great way, while his aura was capable of moving hundreds of meters away from Goku. What the hell? Who is the Saiyan? How is it possible that he has all that power? Turtle's power at the end would make Goku enter a complete terror, since even his aura warned him about the risk of facing that subject, since at the moment Turtle's aura was hundreds of times higher than Goku's aura. I'm sorry for the delay, I'm just not used to accessing this transformation, since it is the first warrior with whom I will try it. Goku, before being able to say anything, Turtles was able to hold him by the head, beginning to destroy an entire planet with Goku's body, which while being dragged, blood spread throughout his body. Turtles with great power would send him to a few mountains, creating a great explosion. Ha ha ha, apparently you are not even able to support all the power of my most powerful transformation. In that case, I will have to finish you once and for all. Goku, in one of his hands, would begin to channel all his power, so the moment Turtles would begin to approach, being a few meters away, Goku would throw his incredible attack, but to his surprise, Turtles was able to stop his attack with his simple hand, and instantly Turtles would expel a great energy sphere, which sent Goku to fly, while in the same way he had returned to his base in terrible condition. Damn it! I will really die in this place. I cannot believe that all this happens. Returning to the present, Daishinkan had been able to dominate all the power of the Guardians, as well as the power of the kings of everything, as well in the same way he had had excellent moments with Freya, since her heart and mind had been completely corrupted. However, Freya's heart also contained pure evil, although a bit the essence of the original angel Daishinkan, which would make everyone question everything they did. Is everything Daishinkan is doing really correct? In short, he is my creator. Although he has given me great power, we should not do intimate things. Frey would be taken out of her thoughts by the voice of Daishinkan, who would ask for her help for a new training, and in the same way that Freya increases her power in an incredible way. To begin with the plan to eradicate all the creation of Zeno-Sama. Freya, upon reaching Daishinkan, was terrified when she observed a giant of yellow eyes staring at her, so Frey would increase all of her power by throwing thousands of destructive energies. A large curtain of dust would rise all over the place, not being able to scratch her, which on this occasion almost make her wet her pants with the terror she had. There is nothing to worry about, Freya, since this is my aura, which I am trying to fully master, and I want you to be able to invoke it in the same way. I can also invoke that thing? But what is it supposed to do? At this moment, we will access another dimension in which we will begin with our new training, and I will teach you to master your killer aura and dark power. I understand, Daishinkan-sama. I will do everything you ask me. I promise not to let you down. I completely trust you, and together we will be able to bring absolute destruction to the entire divine kingdom. Although we have finished with the pillar, I'm sure that the Celestials, the beings that are above the king of everything, really exist. The Celestials? With all the knowledge you have given me, I have no data of warriors of that name. Who are they? It is said that the Celestials only appear when a multiverse is about to fall in the face of the agony and destruction of everything that is in it. And if we are able to defeat them, we will be able to access a world that no being has ever been able to reach. Wow, that sounds amazing. Let's train, Daishinkan-sama, please, and I want to become just as powerful as you. I hope you're prepared, since my training is extremely complicated, and I hope you have the resistance to endure it. Both warriors, as soon as they reached that dimension, began their great training in which Frey would begin to move around the place, while only Daishinkan's aura was able to stop each of his attacks. Although to be able to maintain the active technique, he must have almost infinite energy reserves. But if he was able to achieve it, his defense was almost impossible to break. And Daishinkan and Frey would be aware of this, since even though Frey would use each of his techniques and powers, he was not able to do anything against Daishinkan. The aura was able to attack Frey with thousands of blows, which despite being limited in energy, were able to cause incredible damage, making her fall to a place on the ground where they were training. Returning to the past, Goku's screams were able to be heard throughout the universe. However, Turtles, when bored of torturing him, would observe him fixedly, while his expression was of superiority. You are some powerful, but before all my power, you turned out to be more than a simple ant, so it will be better if you end your pathetic life. Turtles would throw several energy spheres at Goku, who at this moment was able to dodge each of them, while at the moment his power would begin to rise the more spheres he threw at Turtles. His power began to increase. At the moment, Goku would open his eyes, realizing that the color had changed to a silver one. And with an incredible scream all over the place, Goku's aura would grow in a great way, starting to walk, and instantly all Goku's hair would turn silver, while his energy would disappear completely, as well as the pressure that Goku released. What is that transformation? At this moment, even your incredible pressure has disappeared. Is it a useless transformation? While Turtles laughed uncontrollably, Goku was able to approach with incredible speed, propelling him a hit in the center of the stomach, which was powerful enough to make him vomit great amounts of blood. What? How was I able to cause him so much damage with a single blow? Turtles would begin to stand up again, however, he would fall to the ground again, vomiting much more blood. That's right, Goku's single blow had so much power that the damage he had received was incredible, so Turtles had a hard time standing up. Meanwhile, Goku would begin to approach Turtles, which would try to do everything to stand up, but it was completely impossible for him, due to the great difference in powers. However, at the time, Turtles, with all his determination, was able to stand up, although he had suffered incredible physical damage. But the really serious damage was the mental damage, since no one had ever humiliated him in such a way. So for the first time, he would begin to feel the real terror, beginning to tremble uncontrollably. What is this feeling? Damn it! Am I afraid of this damn subject? What is this transformation? Even his pressure has disappeared completely, but the power that is able to free me is overwhelming. Turles, no matter how his body felt, had thrown himself against Goku, who this time had total control of the battle, beginning to humiliate Turles with each exchange of blows because the speed of Turles was not compared to the reaction time of the Ultra Instinct. For that reason, Goku was able to dodge and hit him, while Turles had not been able to connect a single blow. And Goku connected every blow. At the time, Goku, using a little more of his power, was able to send him flying, being dragged by a few mountains around him. However, at the time, Goku would realize how even his internal system would begin to decrease its power as the battle went on. So he had decided to end the battle. I'm going to end this battle that should never have started since I had done nothing to disrespect you. but right now, I'm thinking of sending you to the other world. Don't think I'm going to give up so easily." Goku would begin to channel all his power, and in a definitive attack, while Turles, in the same way, would begin to gather all the remaining power he had left. So at the time, both warriors launched their definitive techniques, although at the time, the clash of powers seemed somewhat even. Goku, by increasing his power much more, was able to destroy the attack of Turles in less than 3 seconds, so the combined attack was able to not leave any ashes of Turles' body. Goku, at the time, would descend to the surface of a planet, and with a loud scream, his power would plummet, while purple-colored rays began to come out of his entire body, as well as too much blood. This was the same thing that occurred to me in the power tournament. The power beyond the gods. I have to master it completely to be able to use this power without having all these side effects. Damn it. Returning to the present, Daishinkan along with Freya were able to finish their great training, so they were determined to finish off each god and angel. That's right, even though the angels were their children, their greed would lead them to end the lives of all their children. Daishinkan, we're ready. Where do you want us to start? I will give a message to all 12 universes so they know what they are going to face. Daishinkan would release all his aura through all 12 universes, being able to observe the incredible being from the top of all 12 universes, causing all divine beings to panic. But Daishinkan's voice would resound through every corner. Gods and angels, I hope you are prepared, since from today, I am the new ruler, and I plan to end the creation of Zeno-Sama completely. And an apology to you, angels, since I plan to end you, no matter what my children are. The incredible aura would disappear from all over, leaving all divine beings with too many questions. For its part, in Universe 7, Beerus and Whis would be observed closely. So that's what it was all about. For that damn reason, in the hotel, Daishinkan asked us to finish Son Goku, since he is the only warrior capable of ending all this farce. Indeed, Mr. Beerus, but do not worry, since even though we are destroyed by Daishinkan, you and I know that Mr. Goku is becoming more and more powerful every day. He will end my father's kingdom. You're right, Whis. But I hope Goku is able to defeat Daishinkan, since he has even been able to end the life of Zeno-Sama. His power must have increased in an incredible way. I agree with you, Mr. Beerus, but we have to trust Goku. He has always been able to find a solution to every problem. Returning to Goku, he was meditating to fully recover, while at the same time trying to access the Ultra Instinct at his own will to be able to master it and bring his power to the next level. While Daishinkan was ready to gather all his troops and end each being of divine energy. My lord, we are all ready and waiting for your order to end the divine kingdom. It's time. The new priest of death and you, Freya, my priestess, we must be the only rulers. Daishinkan, along with Freya, began to move through each universe. However, in all this time, each of the gods and angels had decided to meet with the most powerful god, which was the god Beerus of Universe 7. Brother, what will we do? The presence of the great Zeno-Sama has completely disappeared. In case everything Daishinkan has said is true, none of us will be able to do anything against him. Champa is right, since none of us has the required power to face Daishinkan, but we will not fall without fighting. Gods and angels, Daishinkan some time ago asked me to eliminate Son Goku from all the universes, even to erase his very existence so that he is not able to reborn. But if what you say is true, that means that Daishinkan feared that Saiyan, and you, damn Beerus, you have finished our last hope. The powerful god of Universe 4 with a great fury had swung against Beerus, giving him a powerful blow to the face, which would cause great devastation everywhere. However, when the smoke dissipated, it could be seen how Beerus, with a single hand and without any effort, was holding the god of Universe 4 by the neck. Let me finish talking, damn worm! And no, I have not finished with Son Goku, but I had to send him to a different timeline. When he is ready, he will be able to help us in this great war. For the moment, we have to be the resistance of the multiverse.
Brother, I understand what you are giving us to understand, but it is practically impossible. Since he was able to defeat Zeno and his guardians, some simple gods like us will not be able to do anything. With that pathetic mentality you have, of course we will not be able to do anything. The first thing we must do is change our mentality completely, so not to be useless. I understand everything you say, but that is practically impossible, because the power of a god cannot be compared to the power of an angel, much less with the power of Daishinken. Beerus at the moment, with a big smile, and putting one of his hands on his planet, would begin to channel a large part of all his power. That's right, the increase and true power of Beerus would begin to be present, because on this occasion, the power he was able to release was a bestiality. After a few moments, a great explosion of destructive energy can be observed all over the place, while instantly a completely different Beerus could be observed that even his power was able to overshadow the power of the angels present, with the exception of the power of Whis, because he had also followed a rigorous training to be able to become more powerful. While the other angels and gods were not even able to move due to the pressure emanating from Beerus, because in the new state, his power was even able to eliminate it with one blow. This is the power I have achieved in my arduous training, but beings like you who think that you are not capable of increasing your power much more are pathetic beings. Only we can know our limit. My brothers and gods, to face Daishinken, we will have to team up again with the mortals of the 12 universes. Just like all the angels, we will form a single being, while the immortal gods in the same way. That means that only 3 of us must face Daishinken. That's right, Champa, because no matter how many warriors we gather, if our power is insignificant, we will not be able to do anything. But if we unite, we have some possibility while our ace arrives under the sleeve. In that case, it will be better to warn each of our warriors and start preparing so that we are able to be ready for the great threat that is approaching. Each god and angel had left for their respective universe to this time ask for help to the most powerful mortals of the Kingdom of Everything, while for their part, Beerus had returned to his base form. So Whis and Beerus were able to walk around the planet while talking about everything that had happened. Hey Whis, since we know the intentions of Daishinken, it's time to do it. We must return all the memories to the territories of planet Earth. I agree with you, Mr. Beerus, so that Mr. Vegeta even has the impulse to become much more powerful. We must not lose this war. We must resist as long as possible until Mr. Goku returns. Returning to the past, Goku had completely recovered from what he had trained on that inhospitable planet, which on this occasion began to assimilate all that gravity which on the first day didn't even allow him to move freely. While Goku spent more time in that place, he was able to feel how each vein of energy was dilated much more. That's right, his veins were able to expand and transport much more energy, but very few warriors were able to continue with that training in that universe because sometimes even the bones were broken by the pressure. The power I'm getting is incredible, but in the same way, it is very painful. I can't believe that there is a universe with these conditions. I have to become much more powerful. I'm sure something very bad is about to happen in my timeline.
Goku would continue with his great training, which after about 8 months, Goku had been able to master the Ultra Instinct in its entirety, being able to access said state at will and without having side effects that put his life at risk. I have finally been able to master the Ultra Instinct. At this moment, I must be able to take my body to a new level. I have to be able to master the energy of the angels. Goku would return to the imperfect Ultra Instinct with which he would begin to move through each of the 12 universes, being able to reach Universe 7, which would leave him surprised, since Beerus was training with Whis. But at the moment, both deities were able to feel a gigantic energy that had them in the look. That energy comes from above us. Who the hell are you? Apparently you are a Saiyan, but your energy is even able to compare with the power of the gods. Beerus, at a speed of this giant, would pose behind Goku trying to hit him, but being centimeters away from touching his body, Goku was able to move to one side of Beerus, giving him a slight blow, which was powerful enough to send him to the ground to crash, causing a great destruction all over the place. Whis was surprised because at first glance it seemed a simple blow. He was amazed by the fact that he was able to disintegrate hundreds of mountains all over the planet, and the planet of a god of destruction was much more resistant than any planet. This is incredible. I cannot believe the power you have. At first glance, it is a Saiyan who has been able to dominate a part of the Ultra Instinct, the state beyond the gods. As observant as always, Whis, but I did not think you would be able to notice my Ultra Instinct if I have it at the lowest level. This mortal is very peculiar. He knows my name, and apart he says that the state he uses of the Ultra Instinct is the lowest. That should not be possible. Of a great explosion, Beerus would expel all his power because the power he had received had caused him incredible damage. So instantly, regardless, he had thrown himself against Goku, which, without any difficulty, was able to dodge each of his blows without much effort. That's right, the power that Goku possessed on this occasion was enough to face an angel, and so he used all his power. He was even able to fight Daishinkan before he absorbed all the power of Zeno-Sama. Goku, with a slight blow again, was able to send him to a few rocks, in which Beerus would begin to release too much blood all over his body. Damn it! Who the hell is that Saiyan? How is it possible that he is able to cause me so much damage with a few simple blows? Goku would begin to walk towards Whis, giving his back completely to Beerus, which would make him infuriate much more. Beerus, using his energy reserves, launched again, but this time Goku would observe him and with great mental power was able to leave Beerus out of combat, while he would continue approaching Whis. I can see that you do not have bad intentions, since otherwise you would have been able to end the life of Mr. Beerus with a single blow. But who are you? I come from the future, Whis, and I come to ask you to teach me to master the energy of an angel, since in my timeline, Daishinkan has betrayed us, and I'm sure that he wants to end everything he has built on Osama. Help me, please. You are in whom I trust. Goku would teach Whis the sphere that Beerus had granted him when he had reached this timeline, so Whis would realize that everything the Saiyan was telling him was the truth. But he had thousands of doubts about why his father would betray the Divine Kingdom. Okay, I'll help you raise the angelic energy, but first I need you to release all your power to know what level you currently possess. Okay, I'll surprise you, since I have trained tirelessly to have all this great power and be able to save my timeline. Goku would access the perfect Ultra Instinct, with which his power was able to make Whis fall on his knees. Even though Goku has not obtained a new transformation since he reached that timeline, his body was able to support much more energy charge. Goku, realizing how Whis was not able to move, would decide to return again to the Ultra Imperfect Instinct so that Whis is not affected by his power. Wow, it really shows that my part of the future has trained you in an excellent way. But then, tell me, do you want me to give you the secrets of the angelic energy? Since currently you surpass my power by thousands of times, I can't train you. That's right, Whis. With which you give me the knowledge to unlock much more potential with angelic energy, I know I can do it on my own. Thank you very much. Whis at the moment, with his great power, was able to transmit all the knowledge about the angelic energy, which was able to fill himself with knowledge, even observing in his mind a transformation much more beyond the Ultra Instinct. I thank you, Whis. It's time for me to go to train. I have to save my timeline. This is how Goku would begin to move around the entire Universe 7, reaching the temple where the Room of Time was located, and not being recognized by the God of the Earth. Goku, with his incredible speed, was able to enter the Room of Time without being discovered, so he would begin with his new and rigorous training. Returning to the present, all the warriors of Universe 7 had remembered their savior, why even Vegeta remembered his greatest rival, and remembering his last training. But without wasting time, all the mortals have decided to merge with Vegeta. That's right, Vegeta would be the base body to support all the energy load, as well as being able to evolve much more. So at the moment, the last warriors present would be Jiren, Toppo, and Hit, who observed the Prince of the Saiyans with a big smile. Ha ha ha, I never thought I would have to join you, Saiyan, but we will do everything necessary for our multiverse to survive. You have the energy of destruction. Anyway, I will be of great help to increase your power. We trust you, Vegeta. I will grant you each of my techniques as a murderer. Use them wisely and end those miserable. I trust you, Vegeta. We will be the annihilating resistance of this multiverse. The trio of warriors would transform into energy, beginning to enter the entire body of the Prince of the Saiyans. while for their part all the angels had merged, beginning to create a new warrior, which this time even Daishinkan and Freya had been able to feel all the magnitude of their power. Daishinkan, that power is gigantic. I dare to say that it is on par with our power. And who is that incredible power? Freya, are you really surprised by such little power? The training we had is precisely for that. It doesn't matter if a warrior is a little more powerful than us. We have the dark energy, and also known as massacre energy. I know Daishinkan, but don't forget that if a warrior is much more powerful than us, he is capable of neutralizing all types of energy that we use in his body. Excellent point of view, but that is the fusion of all my children, and they only surpass us slightly. We will be able to defeat them without any problem. But in the same way, two powers of the same gigantic form were felt all over the place, while at the top of all the 12 universes, a giant of blue color energy would form. We will be the resistance of the entire Zeno-Sama multiverse. We will not let you end the creation of the king. Ha ha ha, so you want to compete against me? How interesting. Unfortunately for you, the only warrior that was a threat to me is already dead. It doesn't matter if you fusion or train, you are mere worms on my side. Daishinkan in the same way had released all his incredible aura, again representing the giant throughout the entire Zeno-Sama multiverse. That is, the battle for the throne was about to begin. Good against evil. While Goku would continue with his great training to be able to defeat Daishinkan once and for all. The aura of Daishinkan in the same way had intensified in an incredible way. That's right, this time both sides wanted to end this once and for all. So instantly, without prior notice, both sides began to approach. However, on the side of the gods, the angels, and the fusion of the Saiyan Vegeta would be the fighters, while all the gods in the same way had joined the body of Beerus. However, Beerus would be of support, since he would reinforce his companions with bursts of energy. At the time, the fusion of the angels had created an imposing being of angelic energy, which had even softened his sword with the energy of a supreme priest. So instantly, the fight between the fusion and Daishinkan would begin. While at that moment, Vegeta would face Freya. I am surprised by the power you possess, but you are still immortal, and since I am a superior creation, you will not be able to do anything against me. I do not care if you are a woman. If you get in my way, I will destroy you, and I will not allow you to make more damage, so I have to give my life for all those I love. You sound very confident and brave, but it is a shame that your words cannot be up to your strength. What do you think if we check it, since I want to crush you? Freya, with a flashing movement, had thrown a great blow at him, but was surprised to realize that Vegeta, with a much faster movement, had been able to prostrate on his back. It will be better for you to take this battle seriously, or else you will be very hurt, and I have no intention of being responsible. Furious Freya would kick him, but Vegeta's speed was brilliant, or so Freya believed, since at the moment Vegeta in his first movement was able to propel him in a blow, which made him fall to the ground with incredible power, so much so that he is soon able to leave her out of combat. Freya at the moment would begin to vomit large amounts of blood all over her body. Damn it, what happened? I was not able to see anything, no matter how fast. I have to be able to at least observe when he hits me. What happened? I thought you would be able to do something against me, even if it is with your hands, since if we continue like this, I will get bored. Jumping techniques in the time of hit are very useful.
The last thing Vegeta would only think about. So at the moment, Freya would begin to increase a large amount of all her power. So at the moment, devastations occurred throughout the two universes. But the warriors on this occasion were unable to do anything. Vegeta, it seems that he has the battle under control. In that case, I will help the angels. Bill, in the same way, had balanced against Daishinkan in the same way. However, Daishinkan, despite being at a disadvantage, did not look cornered. He would even start fighting with both without any problem. Ha ha ha! Despite having merged and fighting both against me, they are not capable of doing anything against me, but I will show them that I am capable. Daishinkan at the moment would take a little distance, so his incredible aura would be represented all over the place, beginning to grant a beating to both warriors. Vegeta at the moment would be aware of the great technique, so he said to himself, I'm sure I can release an Osaru in the same way, that he is able to repel Daishinkan. I have to try. However, Freya, realizing that Vegeta was with the low guard, she balanced against him, but the prince of a powerful blow was able to leave her out of combat, so she would close her fists, beginning to concentrate. After a few seconds in which both warriors were still massacred, an incredible aura in the form of an Osaru could be observed, and without prior notice was able to destroy the aura of Daishinkan, but his aura in the same way would be destroyed, needing a lot of spiritual energy. What? How have you been able to create an aura like mine? In fact, how have you been able to destroy it? Both deities began to fall, so they would be held by the Prince of the Saiyans, who had transmitted a little of his power to them, so that they were able to defend themselves in case Freya regained consciousness. Do not worry, I will take care of this damn miserable. I have no intention of losing, so it is better that you prepare yourself. Guardian, good for nothing. I am surprised by the power you have, since despite being only a simple mortal, your energy and skill in battle exceeds those two garbage. At the time, both would be observed, and without mediating a word they launched one against the other. The battle of both was devastating, so much so that millions of living beings from all 12 universes died. That's right, the amount of unconscious beings was surprising, but Vegeta was not able to stop, since he knew that if they lost, the entire multiverse in its entirety would be eradicated by Daishinkan. Instantly, both were given a powerful blow, which had sent them to fly to a planet. Both began to spit a little blood. Wow, the power of your fists is incredible. You do not compare yourself in anything to the other garbage that I defeated. With you, I can move some muscles. Apparently, after all, that stupid girl has not been able to dominate all the dark power, so it will be better that I give her a better use. Daishinkan in a sphere of dark energy would disappear from place, appearing on one side of Freya, which began to recover the knowledge, but she was very badly injured. Daishinkan-sama, please help me, and I'm sorry. I have not been able to meet your expectations. Ha ha ha. Do not worry. After all, I already knew that you were good for nothing. Daishinkan would instantly place his hand on Freya's forehead, which instantly felt an incredible pain, as his wife was being snatched by his own creator, while the energy began to flow throughout Daishinkan's body. Well, being a good for nothing, it will be better to recover the power that I have placed on you. So at this very moment, you will disappear. Freya was not able to do absolutely nothing against Daishinkan, and would instantly disappear from place, since Daishinkan had left absolutely nothing of Freya, while her power had been enhanced in a superhuman way. Even each of her wounds had regenerated. At this moment, I have again 100% of all my power. I am ready for the second attack, so you better prepare yourself, Saiyan. I cannot believe the scum you are. You did not care to snatch the life of your own creation. She fought for you, and you get rid of her as if she were absolutely nothing. Ha ha ha. I do not think you are the ideal person to question me. You Saiyans destroy planets. You end the lives of beings for pure pleasure. I know, and for that same reason I intend to give my life, to redeem everything that I have failed. I do not intend that you continue to end the lives of innocent people. I want to check it, to see if you are powerful enough to achieve it. Miserable worm. At the moment, both began again with their great battle, but this time the blows received by the Prince of the Saiyans caused him incredible damage. Bruises spread throughout his body, as well as internal bruises. The deities realizing this, in the same way they threw themselves in the aid of Vegeta. For his part, in the past, Goku had been able to finish with his great training, because this time he had been able to have total control of his energy, so at the moment he would leave the room of time in an incredible speed that had not even been perceived by anyone. I have to say goodbye to my parents before I leave. Goku would begin to move around the universe, reaching his planet quickly, observing his father who continued with his rigorous training. Wow, I'm surprised by the power that runs through your body, father. If you continue like this, you will end up surpassing me. There is no doubt about that. Ha ha ha, Kakarot, how long without seeing you? I have been able to completely dominate my energy, just like none of my transformations have an energy wear. Father, I'm glad to know, and I assure you that when all this passes and is able to return, I will teach you to dominate the energy of a god. Are you going to leave my son? That's right, Father. I have to be able to save my timeline, and I feel a bad feeling. I understand, my son. I trust in the power you possess, and please do not forget us. I would never do it. Please say goodbye to my mother. Of course, Kakarot, I will. Goku would leave the planet, being able to reach the center of Universe 7, in which being able to expel a large amount of energy, he was able to open several portals to other timelines. However, when Goku began to connect, he was able to feel how among all the different timelines, in one an incredible negative power was felt, while the powers of Vegeta, Beelzebub, and Whis began to decrease in an incredible way. No, damn it, my friends are about to die. This cannot be like this. Goku with his great speed would begin to enter the multiverse in its original timeline, but by the time he would arrive, he would be stopped. That's right, a time pause would have activated in which at the moment only Goku was able to move, realizing how everything around him had paralyzed. What is going on? Why did the whole multiverse have paralyzed? In front of Goku, a Zeno-Sama could be observed, which left him surprised, since according to the position he had, the great Zeno-Sama had died at the hands of Daishinkan. But I chose you. I give you the essence of which I once was the great Zeno-Sama. Before Goku being able to say anything, an overwhelming power would begin to enter the entire body of Goku, as his hair began to grow, since this time he needs to evolve, as otherwise his body could explode. Do not worry, this time pause lasts approximately 3 months, so I trust that in this time you will be able to dominate all my power. I know you can. Friend? After a few hours, Goku was able to contain all the power of Zeno-Sama. However, he was not even able to take a step, since his body was so heavy, just like his muscles were too big, but the power that ran through his body was impressive. The power that Zeno-Sama has given me is incredible, but I have to be able to dominate it, since it does not matter how much power it has, if I am not able to move, I will end up defeated. Goku in this entire time would begin to train his new power, because he knew that the power he possessed at Daishinkan was not low at all. Goku in all this time was able to dominate 78% of Zeno-Sama's power. However, 3 months had already passed, so at the moment time would go back to normal. It is time to end your life once and for all. If you are not able to do anything, you do not deserve to be alive. Damn you. I'm sorry. I have not been able to protect you. I am useless. Demons, I hope Goku prepares himself, since the power that this damn traitor possesses is incredible. Thousands of arrows of energy were aimed at the 3 warriors who had accepted their fate, since the power of Daishinkan after absorbing Freya had been enhanced in an incredible way. Ha ha ha, I have finally been able to end these damn scum. Now I have to be able to become the master and lord of this pathetic multiverse. However, the arrows of energy were about to collide with the warriors. The arrows began to disintegrate, leaving absolutely nothing, which left Daishinkan very surprised, as well as everyone present, since a being of huge angelic energy was able to hold the trio of warriors. What the hell? Who is the being that is able to release all that incredible amount of energy in his aura? While the aura of the angel held him, the trio of warriors had recovered in their entirety, being in the same way surprised, since they did not understand anything at all.
But like a flash, an incredible warrior wrapped in a silver aura would stand in front of Daishinkan, who, with his simple pressure, was able to break several of his bones. Ha 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 ha! Is that the little power you have achieved in all this time? It is a pity. You are nothing more than a worm compared to me. I remember that voice. I remember that damn voice. It is not possible. The deities of Universe 7 informed me about your death, so it cannot be you, Son Goku. Everyone was surprised. But at the moment the aura began to fade, it was possible to observe a very different Goku, since in his body it was even possible to observe the symbols of the great Zeno-Sama, while his gaze imposed respect. It is a pity that the deities of Universe 7 knew about your plan much earlier, so they were able to send me to a safe place. I knew you would be able to return, Goku. He has been able to end everything created by the great Zeno-Sama. I'm sorry to leave everything in your hands. Kakarot, you are and will be the most powerful Saiyan of all the universes. There is no doubt about that. Now please make him feel the real terror. Goku would begin to approach Daishinkan, which at the moment, despite everything, would still release all its power, so 2 incredible auras began to collide. Goku had acceded to his maximum power, with which he was prepared to face Daishinkan, which in the same way was surprised, but above all furious to know that he was deceived by the deities of Universe 7. Damn good worms for nothing! I'm going to end you! Divine palms! Daishinkan's aura had bounced off the warriors. However, a similar technique would be executed, but the power this time was much more powerful than that of Daishinkan. Beerus, Whis, I'm sorry, I thought you had betrayed me. You were able to give me a new opportunity, and I will not let you down.
Goku, you really have an incredible power, but it is not yet time for you to face Daishinkan. The damn worm has even done with the negative power. Mr. Goku, we will give our lives for you, but leave, since we will not have a savior like you again. Insect, give your life? I never thought I would do something so pathetic. But you really are the only warrior who would be able to defeat Daishinkan. Since when do my people die so easily? I will not allow that, since at this very moment I plan to win that miserable worm. Daishinkan, camouflaged in shadow, would move towards Goku's back. However, Daishinkan's fist, when colliding with Goku's sword, had been disintegrated. It will be better if you wait patiently for your death, since I plan to humiliate you in the worst possible way. I plan to make you regret everything you have done. Daishinkan, using a large part of his vital energy, was able to heal his arm by taking a little distance. However, his face could be seen the terror that Son Goku infringed on him, since the negative energy was not easy to destroy. What the hell happened? How was he able to disintegrate my arm? Is his energy much more powerful than the energy of destruction? Goku would create a purple barrier with destructive energy, but in its core, a large amount of celestial energy would not allow Daishinkan's attacks to be able to destroy it, since it had to possess a much more powerful celestial energy. It's time, Daishinkan. At this moment, you will be the warrior who is able to end my life. Or you have to call the gods to do the dirty work for you. Goku would move at an incredible speed against Daishinkan, being able to give him a slight blow to the chest, only to cause him more panic. Daishinkan, at the time of reacting, would try to take distance, but this time, it would not be a slight blow, since Goku, with an incredible blow to his stomach, was able to make him fall to a planet, creating a great destruction at all costs. Haha, have you not been able to see it coming? Don't you tell me you're good for nothing in combat? On the ground, you could see how Daishinkan spat out large amounts of blood. No, damn it! The body I possess is the perfect body. A damn Saiyan should not be able to do this to me. I cannot allow it. Daishinkan would stand up, releasing all his power, even much more power than his body was able to support. At the moment Daishinkan throws himself against Goku, which Goku would respond in the same way. Both warriors began to have an incredible fight. Their simple blows were able to destroy everything around them because the power was amazing. Although there were not so many planets left, due to their fight against the deities, the few planets that remained standing were completely destroyed. Daishinkan at the time would begin to attack with his aura. That's right, the feeling was similar to a 2-on-1 battle. However, surprisingly enough, Goku was able to face both Daishinkan and his aura. At the moment, Goku's gaze would release a bright red ray, causing everything around him to change completely. The incredible ray was able to destroy everything in its path. Just like incredible rocks were destroyed all over the place, Daishinkan with his great speed tried to dodge everything, but at the moment in the same way, thousands of rays spread all over the place, which caused incredible damage to the entire body of Daishinkan. But the real damage was in his internal system. Since he had been stunned, he was not able to release energy. No, damn it! If I'm not able to release energy, this bastard will end my life. I will not be able to defend myself. Do not worry, recover. Since I do not want to end your life that way, you deserve to suffer much more. Daishinkan, despite being humiliated, would not be able to do anything, since this time he did not have the required power to face him, while for his part Whis along with Beerus asked him to end his life once and for all. Goku, do not trust yourself, since Daishinkan, having millions of years of life, can have thousands of techniques. It would be better for you to end your life once and for all. Do not worry, Mr. Beerus. I am sure that this miserable worm will not be able to do absolutely nothing against me, since at this moment I surpass him completely. At the moment, the flow of energy of Daishinkan would return to normal, so when observing Goku without guard, he would throw himself against him using a lot of destructive energy in all his fist. However, to his surprise, Goku was able to stop his incredible blow with one of his hands, which left him surprised, while all the terrain around him was completely destroyed by such incredible power. Is that really all you have? Your power is absolutely nothing. Goku, with a great blow to his face, was able to send him flying to a few mountains, while Goku at this time began to slowly approach where Daishinkan had fallen. Kakarot's power surpasses him. Kakarot will be able to win the fight. It is still very hasty on our part, since Daishinkan was one of the 5 most powerful warriors of the 12 universes, so we cannot trust ourselves. Quasi, I understand that he is your father, but it is really better for Goku to end Daishinkan in his life once and for all. I agree with you, Mr. Beerus, since my father has been completely corrupted by negative energy, and the best thing is to end his life. I cannot believe that I, one of the most powerful warriors, die in the hands of a dirty and pathetic mortal. Daishinkan being about to accept his end, a hidden force would be released, or rather the last stimulus of his body. He would release each drop of energy knowing that he was at the gates of death, which at this moment the power he unleashed even made Goku retreat a few meters since he was not prepared for such an expulsion of energy. Wow! Did you still have much more hidden power? If I'm going to die, I'm not going to hell alone. You damned Goku will have to come with me, since because of you my plans were destroyed. Daishinkan had multiplied his power by 100 times more than his body was able to support, so his speed had exploded in an incredible way. At the moment, he was able to grant Goku the first effective blow, which would send him to a planet by destroying it completely. Swords of hellish punishment. Thousands of swords were aimed at Goku, however, when they collided with his body they evaporated, which left Goku very surprised. But before he was able to say anything, Goku spat out large amounts of blood while he fell to the ground. What the hell happened that technique? It has not been able to cause me any external damage, it was only able to almost destroy all my internal organs. Daishinkan would begin to approach where Goku was. Swords of hellish punishment do not cause any external damage, they only fulminate all the internal organs, as well as the energy system. But you, being the warrior with the greatest resistance I know, have been able to survive and preserve your energy system. Daishinkan would begin to grant Goku a beating, which this time would be overwhelmed by all the blows. At the moment, Daishinkan with a powerful attack was able to send him to fly to a planet by destroying it completely. I do not even know where this power has emerged, but I plan to finish you once and for all. I do not plan to trust how you did it. Daishinkan had directed his last blow at Goku, but at the moment a great energy was able to make him retreat.
That is, the divine energy of the great Zeno-Sama would have been assimilated completely, being able to have the ability to destroy everything as a king of everything. So the moment Daishinkan would grant his last blow was in vain, since his arm was completely destroyed. A great cry of pain would be heard all over the place. However, despite the fact that Daishinkan used all his vital energy, he was not able to rebuild his arm. This is how it is this time. With the power to eliminate a king of everything, he had completely surpassed him. It has been the perfect time to dominate the power of a king of everything. It surprises me, but at this moment, I have planned to finish you. I can realize that if I give you one more chance, this can be catastrophic. Goku would grant a rain of blows to Daishinkan, which would try to defend itself, but it was completely impossible for him. Since this time, despite the fact that his power began to diminish in a great way, he only had one arm to defend himself with, which it would be impossible to do anything against Goku. Daishinkan would fall to a planet, beginning to crawl like a worm through the entire battlefield. Look how low you have fallen, Daishinkan. You, one of the most powerful warriors, who even had an incredible status. Now he is crawling like another worm. Damn it, apparently this is my end. None of my techniques is capable of killing him, and I no longer have enough energy to create an explosion.
Goku would stretch one of his hands, with which he would expel a great pressure over the entire body of Denshinkan, while in the same way, an incredible sphere of energy began to channel throughout his palm. Do not worry about going to hell, because with this energy, I will pulverize your very existence, so I hope you are prepared to disappear completely. Denshinkan, before being able to say anything, the incredible attack would be thrown, which was able to disintegrate him completely. That's right, all the great power of Denshinkan was not able to face the incredible fusion of Goku and Zeno-Sama. However, in the same way, the damage that Goku had received was serious, since at that moment, Goku would begin to fall towards a planet, but before doing so, he was able to recover. This is the price for using 100% of the power of Zeno-Sama. I'm sure that after this, I'll be unconscious for several years, so I have to do it, right now. Goku would expel much more power than even his body could withstand. Gi and civilians tried to stop him, but they were not able to destroy the incredible barrier that Goku had been able to place all over the place. At the moment, Goku, with all the power to eliminate a king of everything, was able to reverse it. That's right, Goku was able to obtain the power of creation, but able to restore each of the innocent lives, as well as each planet and star. After a few days releasing all that incredible power, all 12 universes were able to return to normal. So this time Goku would begin to descend at a great speed, but before it fell brutally, Vegeta was able to hold it. That's how in all that time there was no king of everything, since in the body of the warrior Son Goku lay the essence of the powerful Zeno-Sama. However, in all that time, each god and angel were able to have everything in order, until the new king of everything, Goku, completely disappears. In all this time, I have thought of having much more to be able to become a very powerful being. So 4 years passed in which the entire energy system of Goku was able to be completely restored. At the moment of his recovery, all the warriors would have a great party to celebrate the new position of Goku as the king of everything. I really appreciate each and every one of you, since without your help, this would not have been impossible. And of course, I will take care of the 12 universes. But before that, it will be better that you have your respective celebration, Mr. Goku. That day, Goku, like all his friends, would have big banquets. So when Goku and Vegeta finished eating, Vegeta would watch him closely. Kakarot, I have trained all this time, so I am ready to test my new power with you. This seems perfect to me. Attack me, Vegeta, and show me all your power. And so the last battle of the most powerful Saiyans would begin. To be continued.